Welcome everyone. My name is Mehrdad Abdollahi. I am very uh, actually honored to uh, wrap up the actually having the last session of this global conference. Thanks, David, for organizing. Uh, I'm uh, a Microsoft Learn expert and principal data architect. And I'm also the community lead of Microsoft Fabric Cafe, a learning room in Microsoft Learn. And with over 15 years in software and data industry, in the past decade, I focused more on, data. So I'm based in Vancouver, Canada, and always a learner. And if you would like to just connect with me, here is the LinkedIn, QR code. The QR code that lands you in the LinkedIn page, and the YouTube channel. I will try to be more active there. It's been for maybe 2 months that I haven't posted anything, but uh, the thing is that I'm just resuming on that. However, there were some, live sessions on Fabric, and you can just watch them if you would like to learn more about it. And my home is actually Microsoft Fabric Cafe. If you would like to just find me, you can knock on my door and let's chat more about Fabric. So for today, we have the real-time intelligence with Microsoft Fabric, and we're gonna be a bit deeper on real-time analysis and real-time intelligence. So with that said, for today, firstly we'll start with an introduction of real-time intelligence and how it is important to have this a real-time analysis. Then we'll see how Microsoft Fabric real-time intelligence is helping us. What are the features and benefits? We will talk about KQL database and tables, and which is utilized for when managing and querying data. After that, we will move forward to a real-time hub in Fabric, which is the heart of the business, actually the heart of the real-time intelligence in Fabric. And some best practices for how to have a better, KQL querying, and some learning resources if you would like to just resume your journey. Cool. Before talking about real-time intelligence, I would like to just compare two types of the analysis of the data and basically processing of the data. We have batching of the process, batching of the data, right? As an example, which is actually the most traditional type of the processing of data and analyzing that, which is, for example, in a timely manner, for example, daily or every 10 hours, every 6 hours. You grab the data, you collect the data from different sources, and then you bring them in your staging tables and doing the transformation and then analysis, and then you create dashboards or reports to just make the decision for the future of the business of your organization, which makes sense. It is for the long term purposes. But on the other hand, we need to analyze some data right away when it is happening, right? So here we have the streaming of the data, which is going to be happen actually near real time, or let's say real time, that you receive the data and you based on that, you're gonna make a decision right away based on that event that has been actually happened on that data. So with real time intelligence, we're gonna have a better actually decision making process, right? And so of course we're gonna have less delay in in comparison with batch processing, because the batch processing is focused on the long term, and the real time is for right now. And of course, it is going to help to actually and to help to prevent losing the resources, losing money, or losing clients. As such as actually some examples for this kind of let's say data analysis and processing of the data. We can mention about some industries like retail industry. Just imagine in a store, in a retail store, the inventory of a product is going to be lower than usual, right? And lower than the limit, or the event, even the shelves is going to be empty, right? So the sales actually associates on the floor are not attending all the way all the time in the aisles, and they cannot see that inventory, that it is going to be under the expected amount in that for that product. So what's going on here, and what is supposed to do is we have a system to just count the the level of that inventory for that specific product. If it is going to be lower than a certain amount, do something, action something. For example, it can be, a message can be sent to the manager of the, that section to just recharge it, or the sales associate is going to just fill the those shelves. Or another example for the real time intelligence will be in the finance in the finance industry. Just imagine there is a stock market, right? In the stock market, when you are trading, when you are actually uh, you know buying and selling the stocks, and if you have the real time up and down of those stocks, then you're gonna have a better performance in your trade, right? And then you're going to lose less, at least when something is happening, when you have such a system, such a streaming of the data, that you can just monitor the prices of the stocks, then you can make a better decision, or make a sharp decision at the right time. Or another example will be the healthcare. It is, for example, for the patients that are in the hospital, and they are monitored by the devices, and all of those devices are going to send the updates to the monitoring room of nurses or doctors, and they can just save one person's life even, right? Or the last example will be in the manufacturing. Just let's say in the product line, actually in a factory, uh, when the machines are actually working automatically, and there is no one on actually next to them, if there is something wrong with the level of the oil, for example, on one of the machine, right, it is going to be reported right away, and just prevents losing the value of that machine, or prevents stopping the product line. So I hope this intro was a useful one for real-time intelligence. But before jumping into the next slide, I want to just remind you the Q&A section for this, Teams session is not visible for me for some reasons. Please, if there is any, thing that you want to mention, please just write it in the chat. Or if there is a question, you can just write it in the chat for me. Thank you very much. Cool. So how Microsoft Fabric is going to help us with this real-time, analysis requirement? Basically, the Microsoft, real-time intelligence is a comprehensive, really, platform for real-time data processing and analytics, which is actually combining power, flexibility, and security for us. It is going to help us from the beginning, from the actually gathering the data from sources, then transform and analyze it, then act on top of that, right? So it is a nice sequence that we have for every single analysis. So it is going to be started somewhere, then transform it and analyze it, then something should be happen. Just compare it with the batch processing. That again the same story, but instead of acting on something, we had the the feature of dashboards, or and for actually for the high authority managers and decision makers in the organization. But in the real time, it is going to be the action is going to be taken right away. Microsoft came with the promise of, for the scalability and the performance for, large amount of data in Fabric, and especially in real-time intelligence. As the data that we are going to analyze in real time, or the amount of that is really high, because for some examples, we have the time series data that every single second or every single millisecond we are receiving a new log from the machines, let's say. Or in the healthcare, you're receiving the from the monitoring tools, monitoring equipment for a patient. So millisecond is also important, and Microsoft came with this promise that it is going to cover actually, and it is going to meet that requirements for scaling up and scaling down if there is the amount of data is going to be changed, or the amount of processing of the data is going to be changed, and you should not see any actually you should see less delay for your performance and the processing of your data. So the good thing about Microsoft Fabric real-time intelligence is that it is integrated with other existing data infrastructures. It can pull the data from various sources, such as Azure data lake storage, or even from the Fabric itself, or even we can just read the data from the outside of Fabric, and the endpoints APIs, which is going to actually enhance your capability of working with different sources of the data. I'm sure more data sources are going to be added for this purpose. Before jumping into the features of real-time intelligence, actually, and the components of the real-time intelligence, I would like to talk a bit about KQL databases, and which is basically where we store the data in real-time intelligence section in Microsoft Fabric. So let's just step back and we talked about real-time intelligence, right? Real-time analysis. That in the real time we need a fast, response, right? Fast querying, fast processing of the data. For this reason, Microsoft is providing us with a custom query language, which is, a fast querying, really actually an ideal one for the real-time analytics, and basically a repository in Microsoft Fabric for the structured data. And there you can have the, tables, views, and other databases. And the syntax for this KQL is a bit different than the SQL. However, the SQL itself is also available in Fabric, actually, for working with KQL database. KQL database is not only in the Fabric. You can just find it in the Azure Data Explorer even, right? So let's have a look at I'm not starting with the real-time intelligence now for doing the demo, but rather I would like to just quickly show you how does a KQL database look like. And let's have a look at this guy. Or if it is, let me bring my, the query set. So, here, as you can see, we have the table, and each table has, like other, relational databases. It has the list of columns, and each column has a type of data, and then you can have materialized views if you are going to create any. And a quick one, you can just have the Husar says you cannot see my screen. I think others can see that. Kevin just mentioned it is visible. You can just try, going back. Sorry. So yeah, for as an example, you can just have a look at the data here. For just check the syntax of that. We will talk about this more in a sec. But it is, more or less about the KQL database and what we have in Fabric. So with that said, let's back to my slides. These are actually, it was a quick introduction to the KQL itself and how does the query actually syntax look like for KQL. So the main thing in today's session, real-time intelligence. There is a set of components in real-time intelligence for Fabric, right? That, of course, like every single analytic tool, we have a list of source, and we have the that source actually is going to be actually the data is from that source is going to be streamed into Fabric, and the data is going to be actually there is a event stream which is listening to those data sources. As an example, as you can see, we have the various data sources like Azure Cosmos DB, and or even we have the SQL. And there we can just it can just listen to the records that are going to be added or modified in the SQL database, the SQL table. Then it is going to be streamed to the real-time intelligence in by the event stream. And after that, it is going to actually it is basically ingestion of the data, right? And after that, it can be processed, it can be transformed, even in the event house. And there, in the event house, we have the KQL databases, which is actually event house is uh, the container and the a place that we can manage our KQL databases. There we can write the KQL in a query sets to query the data and just analyze it. And then alongside that, we can just add the tiles to the real-time dashboard to see what's happening in the system, or even directly from the event stream, it can be moved to the act section, which is going to take the actions and doing something right away after analyzing the system and based on the some conditions for that specific uh, real time data that we are receiving from from the streams. And everything here is going to be managed by real-time hub. So the real-time hub is a container for everything here. And here actually we've got the explanation of all of those that we discussed in the previous section, a previous slide. That basically we have three sections, as I always mention, for the analysis, for analyzing. We have ingestion of the data and processing, which we have the event stream, which is actually collecting the data to different and actually spreading to the different places automatically. It is a basically a mini factory to process data from reading and transforming to the storing data, as we saw how it is. The data is moving forward from streaming, and then to the KQL database, or even to the Reflex and to the actually to the Act section. Then we have the analyze and transformation in the middle, which is happening in the event house. As I mentioned, the event house is a large library of data, which is managing the KQL databases to store the data. And then we can have the data visualization that can be happen, even in by the KQL query sets. It is supporting SQL and TSQL functions, and the real-time dashboards, can be, and also Power BI is going to be available for visualizing the data. And after that, we will have the Act and Reflex section, which is basically monitoring the data sets and queries. If something comes up, something happens based on the configuration that we are providing to that Reflex, it is going to action or alert, accordingly. So this Reflex actually one is part of the data activator, which is also a component within Microsoft Fabric. Cool. Again, as we mentioned, all of these, components, all of these processing from source to the components that we discussed within Fabric are managed by Real-Time Hub. Real-Time Hub is, in the middle and just somehow orchestrating and managing this process here for us. And again, In the real-time hub, we can have that three famous sections that we have: source, processing and analyzing, and destination, right? Now, this destination is maybe new word here for us, you know, but let's start from the sources, right? From the sources, we can have various sources to grab the data from, which is, for example, Microsoft sources that is including Azure Event Hubs, Azure IoT Hubs, or even CDC functionality. We can have some events from within the fabric itself when an item is added or updated or deleted, right? So something is happening within the fabric itself. Even we can have the data coming from custom apps or APIs endpoints that you can read the data from in the real time from your app in your organization that you're doing the analysis for. Or even we can have the other sources like Google, Amazon, or even from Azure Blob storage events that when a file has been added or something is happening, or the data within that file is actually is being changed. It is going to be streamed to your real-time hub. So we have the data, we have the source, then it is the time for processing that. There is a functionality in Fabric that we can drag and drop, the components. So it is very, fairly simple, low code, no code environment for us, which is providing us with some, operations actually for basically doing the transformation of the data, like filtering the data, managing the fields, just adding or removing the fields. Then you can just aggregate, your data or summarize it somehow, or by grouping the data. You can union, different sources together, or expand it, or even joining with the other other data sources. So once this transformation analyzing is completed, then it is the time to push it to a destination, right? And that destination can be your, again, custom app and the custom endpoint, or even, in this case, for the custom app, we can just see how Microsoft Fabric is facilitating the real-time processing even outside of Fabric. It is reading from the outside of Fabric, processing that, and then again send the data outside of Fabric. You don't have to just keep your data in within Fabric, right? Maybe something else, or even something important needs to be happen by calling an API outside of Fabric. So it is available also here. And the other destinations can be, the lake houses in Fabric, KQL database that we discussed about, which is the, the storage and, in real-time intelligence, specifically designed for this purpose. And we can have the reflex, as I mentioned, for doing an action based on some behavior, some analysis, some processing of the data, or even all of these stuffs can be pushed to another stream, right? Another and this actually result is going to be an input and source of another stream. Fantastic. So with that said, let's go to our actual demo, right? So in Microsoft Fabric portal, uh, we have, in the homepage of that. In order to find the homepage, you can just click on this little Microsoft Fabric, and on top, you can just click on Microsoft Fabric here to land you in this homepage. And from there, you can find out the real-time intelligence, which is here, or even from this little menu, you can click on the real-time intelligence. And just remember, we talked about the components within real-time intelligence experience that you can just create uh, you know, all of those components separately, right? And or even you can just create everything in the real-time hub from scratch. Actually, by creating an event, and everything can be achieved there. But however, the event house, again, as it is showing, it is a place for creating the KQL databases. It is managing the KQL databases. In order to have a KQL database, at least you need to create the event house name. Let's call it demo Microsoft Fabric Global Online Conference. Let's say going to just copy that for next stops. So the event house is basically is going to be created for us, and these are some guideline how to utilize it. It is our first KQL database that we have, where it is created in the in the actually homepage of that. You have a nice dashboard that is showing you the size of the data that has been actually stored here, and it is going to be stored in your OneLake or not. You can just make it active or inactive when you want your data to be available in your OneLake. It is going to just something is going to inside deactivated. Yeah. So some features are only available when you want to work. Actually, you have this available in your OneLake. And yeah, and in order to load the data, again, we mentioned that you can load the data from different sources, right? From the Azure storage, from event hubs, from the pipeline, or from the OneLake, or local file, just to see how it looks like, to have a sample data in our, newly created KQL database. Let's use a sample, our sample gallery. And for this one, let's just, choose, yeah, let's choose stock analytics. And let's see, is going to, okay. There are two questions in the chat. How to add a function in KQL database, and another question comes up from Obin from the best practice perspective. Does it make sense to mix real-time analytics and batch analytics in the same lakehouse, or do we need to keep them separately? It really depends. It really depends on your use case. Actually, if you only have the real-time analysis, and really there is no need to have the batch data, then it doesn't make sense to mix it. But in most of the scenarios, we are required to mix them, right? For example, let's say you have the data for customers, right? The customers are maybe not changing all the time, right? And it is going to be part of your part of your batch processing, right? But the behavior of those customers, of course, is going to be a real-time one. So it is maybe a kind of combination of batching and streaming of the data. I hope it answers your question. And for that, how to create the functions in actually for KQL, we'll look at the data, at this one later. Cool. So yeah, our first table, the first actually data has been created in the stock. In underneath of this KQL database, we have it in under the table, and as you can see, we have the list of columns here. You can just query the data table and show the the top 100 of that. Yeah. And it's showing you, how it is working. I wanted to show you an interesting thing that even for querying the data, you can utilize SQL, right? And if you're comfortable to work with, SQL syntax, it is also available here. But however, it is recommended to utilize the KQL itself, right? It's better. However, if you write it in SQL query, it is going to be translated and actually interpreted and to the KQL one. For me, it is always good to learn the new things and challenge myself with the new syntaxes with like this guy. And yeah, cool. I think we're good at this one. And but for your question, I've got a cheat sheet here for myself always, for the KQL database, actually KQL querying, and there you can just find it here. For example, for the functions, we can create user-defined functions, right? And something like this, for example, right? And you can just create it. Let's see, like this. It is the yeah. Let's see how it does work here. And in order to actually let's say query the data, you can just create your KQL query set, and let's call it again demo Microsoft Global, actually Microsoft Fabric Global Online Conference. And then let's create a KQL query set here for ourselves. And the source for that KQL query set can be the one that we have created. And even we can utilize the other, actually KQL databases. And here we have no function. Let's see how it does work. It is my filter, something like this. And let's see if it is going to be created here or not. Or it is I'm really not sure. Maybe I'm just let me know if I'm wrong here. Oh, it is not added here yet. always try to utilize the the Microsoft Learn documentation, and there, of course, we can find something to work on that. Of course, for that question, we will be back and see how we can create those functions here. Yeah. So okay, let's back to our discussion. To not losing time, what time is it? Oh, cool. We have actually created our KQL, and so we can see the table that we have here and all of the statistics. So with that said, let's back to the real-time hub and what we have in what we have for demoing today. I have created a stream previously, but if you want to create a new stream, you can just start from here, get events, and from there you can just choose your data source. The data sources that we have discussed before are in three sections from Microsoft sources that you can just select it from event hubs or from Azure IoT hubs. You can have it from database CDCs from Azure Cosmos DB from Postgre, from SQL DB, or even MySQL DB. These are available. And for the Fabric events itself, that we have, from Azure, actually a blob storage event, and basically the streaming is going to be happen from that side of the things. But what I've done for this event, actually, I've created that based on the data that I have in my, actually, that I have created actually on based on the the sample gallery that we have for the actually a rental bicycle business. So here we've got the event stream, and we can just have a look at this event stream here. Cool. As I mentioned before, it is a drag and drop functionality here that the data is going to be, started from a source. The source is basically is coming from the KQL database that I have. It is going to be streamed here, and then it is going to be transferred, actually transformed for example, for choosing the fields that I need. And even I could have another destination as act or reflex right away. And once that transformation was done, I pushed it to a demo, actually to a destination, which is basically another KQL database, and to just push the data there. Let's just have play somehow on this section. We can have as many as sources that we want by adding the sources here. It can be from the sample data, it can be custom endpoints, or from external sources, as we discussed before. Here we already have our data. Here I can just show you the sample data that I've got. I started from a sample data, and yeah, it is basically an ongoing data that is changing, in the based on the time series. It is going to be streamed in our event stream, and after that, I'm just doing this transformation. For example, for this one, I'm adding the fields here, right? Or removing the fields, watching the fields, or even after that, I can add another section, another transformation. For example, it is going to again filter on something, right? And in the filter, I would say, for example, the neighborhood to be uh, let's say contains, for example, Chelsea. And then after that, it is going to just send to my destination, which is the event house, and actually the event house of my demo, and then that table that I have in my KQL. Or even we can just add something else at another destination. For example, let's say a reflex, and we are going to just grab it from here. Basically in this flow, the data is flowing. The data is starting from a source, and whatever that we grab in the next step is based on the received data from the previous step. And of course, as a standalone, we cannot have a destination, but we can have the sources from different places. For example, here we can add another data source for yellow taxi, or from whatever that we have, and then based on that, it is going to just doing some streaming. But for this reflex one, we can just name it something, let's say uh, new reflex 2, for example, in my destination. It can be assigned to an existing reflex that you already have, as existing act that you already have. For example, let's say the you know whatever streaming that is happening, it can send a Teams message or email to someone, right? I will just give you in a sec. You can just name it new reflex 2 and done. So it is going to be created here, and even we can add other sources, right, and other destinations. Cool. Once our basically once our configuration is done, we can publish our event stream, and it's going to just start streaming the data. And what I wanted to show you was how it is basically is working here, and the data is basically is going to be pushed. Sorry, is going to be pushed to our KQL database, and let's have a look at that destination that we've got there. Oh, sorry. The destination that we've got there is demo 01. Actually, we can just query the data. Was it demo 01? I think I'm in the wrong. Yeah, it is here. Yeah, we've got it in our demo table, the data that is coming from that basically streaming, one of the destinations. And here we can just have some, practices on the KQL and the how the syntax of KQL looks like, right? So it is very simple. That we will start with name of that table, like this demo table, and then the this intelligence is suggesting us the next let's say keyword or syntax that you are going to work on. For example, for taking the top 10 of this data, it can be uh, retrieved like this, or even become more complex, adding a where clause into that, and what fields are going to be available. Even we can render it as a chart, right? And instead of showing that as a table, uh, bypass limits. Let's Yeah. Here you can see, in the timely, actually in the time series, the amount of data that actually the amount of the number of bicycles that are available in each date and time for example, in the neighborhood of Chelsea, right? And then even this one can be added to a dashboard, or something like that. Or even, for example, let's it is not responding well. Or even, for example, let's have this guy here. We are not, and let's execute it. So, for example, this summarization for just aggregating. Actually, the summarize keyword is used for aggregating the data from your table. And as I mentioned, you can just pin it to an existing dashboard, real-time dashboard that we have, or do it actually add it as part of the Power BI report, or even set the alert like the reflex that we have discussed previously. Based, for example, it says when the number of bikes dropped below 10, do something, right? We can do that on the dashboard as well. I would like to add it to our dashboard. You can create a new dashboard from scratch, or add this one as a tile in your existing dashboard that I want to do it right now. I choose my dashboard that I've created previously, and here's the dashboard. And let's say the demo Microsoft Fabric online global conference, right? And it's going to open dashboard after this creation. And then we can see this tile has been added to my dashboard, right? And what you can do is, even updating, actually viewing the query behind this guy, or even in the editing mode, you can do a let's say generating the expressions, for those guys who are familiar with Power Query, or even expressions in the, Power BI reports, where you can create your expressions. And based on those filters, based on those, items that you're doing for the aggregations, for example, or whatever that you're going to create on top of the your data, then the KQL syntax, KQL query is going to be generated, and you can just add it, replace it with your existing query. For example, let's add a filter for number of bike, and let's say it is less than 10. And here a a new query is going to be generated here, and we can just take it and just paste it for our item and then apply the changes. And now we can see the the records that are only showing the actually number of bikes that are less than 10. And on actually top of that, we can just set an alert that actually, for example, let's just have a look at this one. Look at one of them, for example. Every 5 minutes, we are just creating an alert for monitoring the data. Every 5 minutes, it is going to check the actually on the data on the street, that if the some number of bikes, for example, changes from, or is equal to, or is not equal to, for example, 10, or changes from 10 to something, do an action. For example, one of the actions is sending an email. One action is sending a Teams message, or run a Fabric item. I give you an example again from the retail industry. When the number of inventory for a product is going to be lower than a certain number, maybe we will have 2-3 destinations, right? That we have seen in our stream event stream in the real-time hub, that we could have more than one destinations, and one destination could be for that retail industry, could be for the manager. Okay, just it is finished, just go and order for the just recharging in the back. And another event can be, for example, a Teams message for a sales associate, and they gonna just refill those shelves, right? So we can have different real-time actions. Cool. I think we are good at the at our demo. However, really 1 hour is not enough time to move forward and walk over everything in this huge item. Uh, for the real-time intelligence specifically. Uh, but however, there's always resources that you can learn about these stuff. Before jumping to my slide and wrapping up the session, I would like to just show you some learning resources. One of them could be the applied skills in Microsoft Learn, that here we have an implementation, a real-time intelligence solution with Microsoft Fabric, which is a fantastic one that you can just work on that and learn more about this. And of course, let me just copy them in the chat. And also there is the documentation for KQL and your cheat sheet. You can just find it from here as well. And the whole real-time intelligence documentation. What does throw you an error? Are you talking about the links, or? Yeah. However, let's back to the last slide, I guess. There are always some best practices when you are querying the your data. Oh, you're talking about is not, you're not able to set an alert. Okay, we can just back to your question. Let me just finish this one, and then we can back to your items on that side of things. So in order to have actually a nice querying and a good performance, of course it is always recommended to follow the best practices when you are querying on the KQL database, or even any relational or non-relational databases. So the first recommendation would be, using the filters early. When when you are working on the huge, amount of data, and you only want a subset of the data, just be cautious that you filter your data from the beginning, right? For example, if you are working on the data on from one neighborhood of Chelsea, for example, of course you're going to just filter them on the that neighborhood, and then move forward with the other steps of your analysis, so it is significantly improve your performance. It is always good to leverage indexes. And in KQL we don't have that traditional indexing that we had in SQL. It is an automated one, automated process by the KQL. However, it is recommended to utilize them, right? For example, one of the one of the built-in, let's say, index that is created in KQL is for the timestamp, for the time series data. And so, of course, when you utilize your indexes like that, it is going to have, of course, a better performance. If it is possible for you, just avoid unnecessary computation, right? If it is possible for you, just do the pre-calculation. For example, uh, remember what we had in the real-time hub. We could have the data from a source like a KQL, right? And I would suggest maybe it is better to just pre-calculate your data in your KQL database, and prepare them in maybe in materialized views, then do the analysis on top of that. It is going to save a lot of time for you if you do the pre-calculation of your data from even from the source, right? Sometimes it is not possible. You have to just write your query and analyze it right away, and there's no time or no really it doesn't make sense to have that pre-calculation, but it is recommended. And when you're of course joining different tables, of course it is good to have an optimized joins. And when you are joining your and actually using the joins cautiously is join is good, right? But is not good always. And you need to be cautious about the amount of data that is coming out after that join. And if that join is basically killing your performance of your system, of your product, then you have to maybe just flatten your data or combine them somewhere else uh, as part of the peer calculation, then work on your data. Yeah, with that said, I'm at the end of actually my presentation today. And thank you very much. I guess it is the last session of this global conference of Fabric. I'm very honored to wrap this global conference up. And if there's any question, we can just answer them. If not, these are actually my contact details. You can follow me on actually contact with me on LinkedIn. This QR code lands you in my LinkedIn page. Let's connect. It is always a pleasure to actually help within the community. You can just watch my videos, the future videos on the YouTube if there's any new is coming up, and always just knock on my door in the Microsoft Fabric Cafe, which is the or my room actually, the learning room within Microsoft Learn. And yeah, thank you very much.